Hey everybody, first of all, Jameis Winston is being investigated by the NFL for an alleged groping incident that was said to have occurred on March 13th of 2016. And it was with an Uber driver who identifies herself as Kate, not her real name. And then Kate, according to this article that was written in Buzzfeed, and I have to say the reporter did an awful job about this and going about this, and so did the editors, but I digress. And it claims, the BuzzFeed article, that Kate talked to 5 other people who are not there. And those 5 other people are not named. So we don't know if those 5 other people were just people who were in some kind of way coerced or whatever, or just said, yeah, she told us this happened. When did she say this? Okay. There's a lot of holes in this story, but the biggest hole of all is that when it was written, the reporter, so-called, didn't bother to contact Jameis Winston and say, hey, or any of his representatives and say, hey, I have this story here I'm about to go public with, but I need your background, your side of the story. What actually happened here? That's not here at all. I mean, it isn't. It was absolutely just put together in a way that is you know, absolutely awful. It's so I wrote to the person who wrote the story on behalf of BuzzFeed. His name is Talal Ansari, and this is what I wrote to him in my email. Greetings. Say, I'm writing to ask why you did not bother to contact any representative of Mr. Winston before, and I say this in large caps, you wrote your post. It really looks more like a hit job rather than a real bit of news work. I would have not greenlit this story if you worked for me. I run Zennie 62 Media. The main problem is you can't at all verify the people Kate says she talked to. Moreover, if that was Jameis Winston's Uber account, why would she say men put her in the car? Also, what's her background? Is she or was she really a hooker who maybe didn't get paid the money she wanted? There's a real story here that you didn't uncover. And I'm going to go a step further with this. There's a lot of fishy items to this. First of all, Winston's account is that there were other people in the car. And Jameis Winston says he issued a statement. The statement reads like this. It reads that, first of all, because Kate says that Jameis Winston was the only person in the car, all right? And her response was this. And it says, a news organization has published a story about me regarding an alleged incident involving a female Uber driver. And then it goes on to say, excuse me, and then it goes on to say that I'm reading this from a website called College Spun. They have one of these big ads that pops up, and that as you're reading it, so it made this a little bit, made this delay happen because I'm trying to pull up this story to read it to you again, and as I pull up the story, then this big pop-up ad gets in the way, and then the music. So now I've got Mr. Winston's statement. It goes like this. A news organization has published a story about me regarding an alleged incident involving a female Uber driver from approximately 2 years ago. The story falsely accuses me of making inappropriate contact with this driver. I believe the driver was confused as to the number of passengers in the car and who was sitting next to her. The accusation is false. And given the nature of the allegation and increased awareness and consideration of these types of matters, I'm addressing this false report immediately. At the time of the alleged incident, I denied the allegations to Uber, yet they still decided to suspend my account. I'm supportive of the national movement to raise awareness and develop better responses to the concerns of parties who find themselves in these types of situations, but this accusation is false. While I am certain that I did not make inappropriate contact, I don't want to engage in a battle with the driver, and I regret if my demeanor or presence made her uncomfortable in any way. And so he also tweeted his statement. Now, for my part, I wouldn't have given her an inch. If the report is false, as Jameis says it is, I wouldn't apologize for your crap. I would just say, hey, look, I didn't do anything, nothing happened, and here's what happened. Okay? But that aside, the obvious division in the story is that she says that she and Winston were the only people in the car. Winston says there were other people in the car, and that completely diverges from her story. Something else, too. Whose account, when you report someone, you can tag their account. Whose account was it that was used? Because she says men put him in the car. Also, when you're writing a complaint about a driver or a rider in these situations, you do not use that person's name. You don't have to because they're tagged, okay? You know that the name of that person, that account is there. You don't have to put their name in black and white. So that's why this is really fishy, and the Buzzfeed reporter and Buzzfeed itself ought to be ashamed for just putting this out there as is. Bad stuff. And if I were Jameis, I would take off any apology and I would issue a lawsuit immediately. If what he says is true, they should be sued. Period.